been with you this past 4 months of insanity?
It's mixed feelings, yeah, Pooja. On one side, you're seeing all the distress that's happening, people suffering, people out of jobs, and there is so much of sadness around you, so much of anxiety, and it's a very, very, strange time in any human being's, I think, lifetime. I think so. On one hand, on the other hand, people like us, who always look out for some free time. Always we're running around from pillar to post, trying to meet deadlines, and there's never a time to even breathe and just sit back and think. You've suddenly found this amazing space which we can use for so much of thinking, so much of innovation, spending quality time, understanding what is important, what is not important, what are the things that we've been doing in the past which is not needed at all, stuff like that. It's an amazing time. So it's mixed feelings, but personally, on a personal front, I think I'm having a great time.
So has it been a creatively satisfying period for you? You're making your digital debut now with Bandish Bandits.
Oh, yeah, I'm young and I'm making my digital debut. Well, yeah, I mean, it's very, very exciting because, now I think moving forward, uh, I started my music academy, which is a digital academy, about 9.5 years back. And, that's grown, and we are in 76 countries now. And that is the time even the OTT platforms and everything started. And now look where it's gone. It's everybody is, it's only about, OTT platforms and, doing all these non-television kind of content which is there. So it's amazing. So this is our first and Bandish Bandits, and what better project to launch ourselves than this, because musically it's such a satisfying experience.
I'm sure because there's classical, there is contemporary, there is a fusion and a mixture of various genres that come together. So for a composer, it can be challenging also, but very gratifying as well.
It's extremely challenging, Pooja. I'll tell you, in today's time, where do you get a chance to have one project where you can do a massy pop song, at the same time you are able to compose a bandish in Rag Malhar, at the same time you are able to compose a thumri and a bhajan and a folk song, and all kinds of stuff. So it's for us musicians, it's like a kid in a candy store, where we have got so much to deal with, and at the same time we are confused as to we don't know where to start. It is an amazing feeling, and I think it's a very, very unique project that we have done.
And imagine it's like 10 episodes, which is like five films, literally five
Yeah.
films. So you've composed for
Oof.
5 movies.
Even more than movies, Pooja, see, had it been a thriller, or had it been like a crime murder mystery or something, and with songs in between, for example, it was very simple. We could have just done our songs and the background score, and that's done. Over here, what happens is the songs that you're hearing, for example, the Bandesh or the Thumri or any classical composition that you're hearing, is a result of some scene, some development, musical development that happens in the project. So we have to create the song first and deconstruct it so that you are able. I mean, the listener, the viewer, is gets a feeling as if this song is being made. Since it's a musical project, so you see these people singing, they're doing riyas, they're jamming. Guru is teaching something to their shishya. Students are practicing. So many things are there. All these things are all musical ideas that we had to do. So besides doing those, 10, 11 proper songs, we had to do about, I think, 250 million small music IDs
Wow.
by the time we reached. I'm just joking. I
Wow.
mean, a lot of IDs, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And I was going through my playlist and I discovered there are only Shankar ehsaan Loy compositions that I listen to.
Oh, flattered. I'm
Dawn,
flattered. I'm flattered.
Dawn for if I want to run, Khwabo ke Parinde if I'm in that kind of
Zindagi Na Milegi.
introspective
Huh.
mood. So it's basically every, and Rockford is my personal favorite. But what do you make of the scene now, musical scene? Because पहले आप लोग एक फिल्म की composition करते थे. आजकल बहुत सारे composers हो जाते हैं. What is your take on this?
See, I think, this is a particular method that the music companies are trying to follow.
Hmm.
and they're trying to believe that by having multiple composers, see, actually it's very convenient for the music label and the music producers, for the producers, because what happens is they get their stuff very fast, because
Huh.
one guy, five songs are being worked out simultaneously. But if you ask me personally, I don't believe in this concept, because I really feel that would you change your cameraman for every shot that you take? That ये आदमी ना ये बहुत अच्छा action shoot करता है. Let's use him as this cameraman for this. Or a director, for example. If you have a director, you say that, oh, let's use this guy because he's a action specialist, and this guy, no, he shoots very good romantic films. So let's use this director for this scene where it's a romantic scene. You can't do that. So I mean, if you have a music composer for a film, have a music composer throughout. He may there is a kind of a thread. Now if you listen to our music, for example, if you listen to Tare Zameen Par, it's the music of Tare Zameen Par. If you listen to Dawn, you can't put Dawn ka music in Tare Zameen Par, or we can't put Kajrare in Rock On. So we design music for the film because we are passionate about what we're doing. We don't want that one hit where you use that song to promote your film, which I don't think even works. The song becomes a hit, but I don't know whether, unless you have a good film, people have to come to the theater to watch it. So I think it's a very confused kind of scenario here. And moreover, what I really feel bad is, though Shankar Ehsaan Loy, we never accept projects where there are multiple composers. We say that if y'all want multiple composers, we step back. We say we won't do the project. Y'all please do it with 4, 5, 6 music composers. We don't have a problem with that. But what happens is you don't even know who's composed what. You don't know which song, who's composed, who sung what, किसने लिखा है, किसने compose किया है. अरे कुछ in life में थोड़ा credit भी तो होता है कि यार ये गाना तारे ज़मीन पर माँ we have composed. Everybody knows. So Kal Ho Na Ho we have composed because we are the composers of the film. So I think credit wise also you don't get anything. You don't know who's what. It's a big confusion. And so I don't subscribe to the idea of having multiple composers. But if it is working, it's great for the music companies, for the producers. That may be a way in which they do, but I don't subscribe to it.
And coming to this, the later Rishi Kapoor Saab had once told me when I interviewed him, because Raj Kapoor Saab had this thing with Shankar Jayakishan. They were, Rishi Kapoor once mentioned to me how music these days does not have much of a shelf life, but with your compositions, I've noticed it has it is timeless. Whether Kal Ho Na Ho, Zindagi Milegi Na Dobara, Tare Zameen Pe, there is a song for every mood. What do you think ails now, the compositions now? We discussed about multiple composers. What do you think is the problem now?
Look, can I put it in a different context for you? It's like somebody, sending someone to the market and saying there's no good vegetables available or no good food available. The problem is that there is good food, but you are not sourcing the food from the right place. So it's like, you don't want to make that extra effort, and you're incapable. Most probably you're incapable of actually understanding what good vegetable or good food or a good product. You want to go and buy a good book, you need to go to a good, bookstore, and, you can't, hope to walk across the street on a small thing and say, hey, this is not available, because he can only keep that much, right? So there is a lot of good writers, there'll always be. I've said this before. It's in a country of so many, billions of people. You can't tell me that people can't write a good song. That's impossible. I mean, look at, we are beating the Americans and the world at sending things up in space and stuff like that. How is it possible that you can't find someone to write a good
song? Because I'll tell you why, Puja. I think the creator is different and the decision maker is different. That is the problem. Okay, you are not letting the talent come up only. The song gets squashed even before it reaches the listener. It just dies a silent death in the shelf, in the library, because it is not promoted at all. See, if there are 4 or 5 songs, only one song or 2 songs are there from the album, which probably are played because the music company, the producers, the music company, music producers, they decide to promote those songs. Okay, and those are the same songs that play on every television channel. Those are the same songs that play on every radio station. Those are the same songs that are being promoted by the news channels. They are the same songs that are played in every internet station you hear. So everything is the same. You know what I mean? So it needs to, and now is the time when I think there is no wall between the listener and the composer, where songs will reach out. There are some songs of ours, Puja, I think five people have not seen it in the theater for sure. I can guarantee you that. Out of which three are Shankar, ehsaan, and the fourth person is the director himself and possibly the lyricist. You are only five. I'll give you a song called Tere Naina. Tere Naina has diye. This song, this song has become a hit totally on its merit. You know, slowly. So now what happens is when you remove the gap between the listener and the composer, which is happening now, slowly, things will start falling in place. I think it's a good time now. It's the beginning of a good time now.
Since Lois joined us, we were speaking to Shankar about Bandish Bandit. What was most challenging for you for a composition that you've made for literally 5 films?
I think first and foremost, it's first for us being a Amazon original series, and the fact that it's not like a 2-hour film, or where everything is said in that. The fact that this is spread across so many different episodes, so you have to kind of be able to see that, the bigger picture, and the fact that we also getting to present our music, which is the music of the country, which is actually classical music, which is fantastic. I mean, the colors and the emotions and everything in it, it's like a billion universes in just that, and you need many lifetimes to go through all of it. So it's like that in itself is such a overwhelming thing. And of course, the genius out here with his knowledge of Indian classical music. What more can I say?
Who are you talking about, Loy?
You,
About
sir.
you, buddy.
Who else?
Shankar
And honestly,
he brings that whole depth and spectrum. That, I mean, see, that's also been part of our sound, which we maintain. The fact that yes, we can be international, but at the core, we are always Indian. That's part of the and I think that in a lot of ways, it also represents the new Indian today. We are Indian, no matter. You can wear a pair of jeans that don't make you, international. I mean, doesn't make you to a particular country or so. You just become international. So you could do. I mean, whatever you want to play basketball, you want to play any game, but you're still Indian doing it. So that's the best part of it.
And Bandish, मैंने मालूम है कितने सालों के बाद word Bandish सुना है, because initially during my career I had to report on classical music. There were people attending those concerts. There was people organizing bear-hugs. Somewhere it got lost. Where it went, I have no clue. I'm sure they're happening, but in a more private space. So was this also as an encouragement to own up to go back to your roots as well?
I don't know in terms of a larger scale, but if you look at, I'll just use South India, like Chennai, for example, as a like if you look at the whole season when it comes in, there are multiple concerts happening every day in the city, which proves that how well entrenched and solid the culture is. Okay, so I mean, first and foremost, yes, it's an ancient culture, and the fact that they've retained it so beautifully says a lot. So I mean, yes, people listen to everything else besides Indian classical, Carnatic music, but still, I mean, they haven't abandoned that.
True, I agree.
They have not abandoned that, and there is, I mean, like for example, in Maharashtra, I'll say Pune used to have a big classical festival. I think they still do.
Savai Gandharva. Yes. I've sung in that.
Yes. Yeah. And so I mean, that's a huge gathering of people that come, dedicated, hardcore, passionate followers of the Indian classical music. I'm sure it exists, but it could always do with a lot of help, from the center, and the government can help. And why not? I mean, if we the government doesn't do it, we as a people don't do it. Who's going to do it? Nobody else. We got to do it. I mean, just like if you look at other cultures, like I think in Argentina, they started this thing of doing orchestral concerts every month in various parts of the town, just to promote a certain thing. It takes a little time, but once it catches on, it becomes a beautiful thing, and we can do it. I mean, it's just a question.
If you go to Europe, if you go anywhere in Europe, they are so proud of the Western classical culture that it's part of their growing up. The concertos, the operas, they're very proud of that. We need to get into a situation where we are, first of all, we are proud about our music. We should not feel, "Arey, ye nahi hai yaar, this is not cool." We should feel that classical music is cool. It is, you need to respect your own music first. And I think as music composers, it's our responsibility not only to just entertain you people, but also educate you with our culture, our musical culture. If you see most of our songs, there'll be a little tadka of Indian classical music in it, which subconsciously educates. Mitwa, what if this is not classical? What is classical? But I can't do an overdose of that. If I do overdose, people run away. So you should give it in correct doses so that people understand the essence of classical music, and they feel, यार ये बहुत अच्छा है, but समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्यों अच्छा है क्योंकि इसमें depth है और इसमें classical music है.
I remember it was in one of the cities where these two girls were talking to me, and they liked Sapno Se Bare Naina, and they said, that's so beautiful. Why don't you guys do more stuff like that? I said, do more stuff like that. I said, even if you like that, that's Indian classical music. They were like pretty much clueless about it. And I said, you should go and listen to it. I said, it's right here. That's so.
And also the music scene is changing now because of this lockdown. I really don't know when we'll have those concerts, and there's online streaming happening. Which is that one change and one challenge as composers that you think you'll face for a time? I know royalties are an issue, which continue to be an issue. But what is the one change you want to see and one challenge that you feel that you face?
I'll say with the advent of the medium going strongly towards digital now, especially during this lockdown thing, like Amazon, for example, it does give a bigger palette and a bigger platform for a lot of filmmakers, script writers, artists to get on there and do their thing. Because previously what would happen, let's say there are 1,000 theaters in the country, and people say, no, but this is the kind of audience that's coming to the theater, so we have to cater for them, and we're only going to do these kind of stories and these kind of films. Now everyone has got a story in their life. If you look at it from that perspective, that's a billion stories in just one day in our country, right? So it can be a billion films. So this is the possibility, because you're not getting a chance to tell your story. Now this is possible.
I feel that composing while composing music and reaching out to the audience, this is a better time now, because you are much closer to your audience and you are able to reach out to a wider spectrum of audience. And it's very easy. You don't need anybody to publicize your music. You're not dependent on some music company to promote it in XYZ this thing, and they telling you that don't do this, don't do that, dictating terms, number one. But the challenge, that is the advantage, but the challenge is physically, when is it that we're going to go out there on stage and see our 10,000 fans over there screaming, shouting, singing with us, dancing with us? That whole physicality of a live concert is going to be a challenge. I really don't know when that is going to happen, and the day that happens, oh my God,
we'll come back. The question of
eventually, of course, it'll come back.
To taper off totally, because it's quite a bizarre time. In a strange way, it's great because it gives you a lot of time for introspection, and a lot of new things will come out from it. A lot of good, positive things.
I'm sure they will. And lastly, I just want to ask you your opinion about statements being made by fellow composers, Mr. Rahman, Sonu Nigam. Do you have anything to say that people don't let you grow, there is favoritism? And do you have?
I very honestly, I don't know if I really pay attention to what, I just got to go with what my gut feeling and my belief is. For me, it's always been that way, Yes, you can, there's some people you will listen to what they say because, you value the judgment of certain things. But, I don't like to comment on someone else's work. If I like it, I like it. If I'm not cool with it, I just don't say anything about it. But that's my personal thing, and it's not right for me to make a statement on that, because maybe I don't know. So I don't know.
A.R. Rahman and Sonu Nigam and many other people, they are all our brothers. We share a fantastic relationship with them. We love their work. And I just asked you one simple question. After achieving so much in life, after Rahman winning 2 Oscars, which is, I think, the greatest award in the world, composing, I mean, his contribution to South Indian cinema is, I mean, Hindi though we all know, but from this side, we don't know what I can tell you, it is unbelievable, his contribution to South Indian cinema too. I mean, it's much, much, much more than even the Hindi cinema. Sonu Nigam, I mean, he is a singer who's looked up to, he's my brother, and we love him. Do you think that at this stage they need to come and they need to lie to people? I think that if they're saying something, let us assume that this is the truth.
True. Anyways, since it's Bandish and Bandits, who is the bandit among Shankar, ehsaan, Loy? Who's the bandit?
Who's the bandit, Loy?
He's laughing. Shankar, it has to be you.
No, Shankar's not the bandit.
Oh, then it's ehsaan.
The bandit is not there as part of the interview. The bandit is... Yeah. So I think we are here in the industry for 25 years now. I think the lines that were drawn earlier in our career, where who's the Bandish and who's the bandit, who's the Indian musician, who's the jazz musician, all those lines have got erased now, and then we are just one. We are Shankar, ehsaan, Loy. That's it.
And that's what your music says it all. I mean, who you are, as I said, I mean, it comes out tops, Kal Ho Na Ho, to like everything that I have been listening to is Shankar, ehsaan, Loy. Jate jate thoda sa hamare liye gunguná dijiye. Kuch bhi.
Of course. I will. Give me just 2 seconds and let me get those lyrics here.
But must say this is very convenient, right? There's so much of time saving in terms of traveling, just doing
traveling and everything. It's just
I
the network.
I mean,
the gods of internet and Wi-Fi need to be just gracious on us.
It will happen. It's a question. Like I said, now this is it's a necessity, right? So
it's very convenient.
It is extremely convenient. I mean, think about it. 2 hours of your life you saved because of not traveling.
Sajan bin aaye na mohin diya. This part is sung by my son, Shivam. Rain bhar aaye re jaati ratiya. काहे तू मोरे सजन प्यारे देखे ये नजारे माने ना अपने अखियां सजन बिन आए ना मोहे निंदिया निंदिया.
Superb.
Awesome. I mean, हम लोग एक concert का लुफ्त ऐसे ही ले सकते हैं. I mean, it's just that you don't have that physicality, but
like we take it so much for granted because we're in the studio every day, and I haven't heard him for almost 3-4 months. So I'm hearing him like, it's just beautiful, man.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the very best.
Wonderful interview, Puja. Take care.
Thank you. Waiting for more compositions.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. How are you doing, buddy?
Mast, yaar. Super.
Arey, mast, yeah. Sounds damn good. Feels like so good to hear you.
Thanks, yaar. How is Sherry doing?